welcome back. This is for C2 Novel and Vocab Week 6, but this video is only for the difficult phrases in our novel. So if you're looking for the video on vocabulary words, please go to the other video. And if you have already watched it and you're in the right spot, then welcome back, and I'm glad you're here. So today, what will we be doing? We'll be going over the difficult phrases from the novel, and this is for cultural fluency, because some of these words here, we just don't really know what it means. And by becoming familiarized with different slang and colloquialisms, the different phrases in here, students will be able to relate to the novel and incorporate these phrases to convey their ideas more precisely. So maybe you'll learn some phrases and you'll use it in your speaking, or you'll use it in your writing. Okay? This is for editor's notes to chapter 2. So if you have only read chapters 1 and 2, please go back to before chapter 1, and you must also read editor's notes. Okay? It starts like this. All right. Whew, everyone ready? I hope you have your Bunnicula novel book. Let's go over some of the difficult phrases. But before we do, quick pop quiz. Who is the narrator of the story? What? You don't know what a narrator is? I'll review for you. A narrator is the person who is telling the story. Who is telling this story? Ah, yes. Harold. Harold is. And is Harold a person, dog, cat, or bunny? Yes, he is the pet dog. There is a cat named Chester, his friend. We have a family that they live together, which they are called the Monroes, Mr. Monroe, Mrs. Monroe. And then we also have Pete and Toby, which are the two sons. And then we have a bunny named, yes, Bunnicula. Okay, just so that I know that you have all read it before reviewing this, if you haven't read the book yet, please read it first and then come join us. So let's go into page 11. There is a little quote here. It's in the middle of the book, in part of that big paragraph, at the end of the big paragraph, and it says, Pete, on the other hand, doesn't believe in sharing. And the only time I tried to sleep on his bed, he rolled over on me and pinned me by my ears so I couldn't move for the rest of the night. I had a crick in my neck for days. So here, again, remember, it's hard to remember, but this is Harold talking. This is the dog talking, okay? And the dog, Harold, was trying to sleep with Pete one night, okay, on the same bed. But Pete had rolled over, and he was, like, on top of Harold's ear. So Harold, the dog, couldn't move. So he had a crick in his neck. Everyone say, crick in my neck. A crick in my neck means a little pain. Okay, it's neck stiffness. Oh, I can't move it. Often with pain or difficulty turning your head. The crick in my neck is making it hard for me to move my head. It's a muscle strain from holding your neck in an awkward position. So here, Harold was in an awkward position while he was sleeping because Pete was on top of him. And this is what caused his crick in his neck. It can also look like this. The old man's like, I have a crick in my neck. I can't move. Here, maybe this man had a crick in his neck from getting in a car accident. He's like, boom. Have you ever had a crick in your neck before? One time, a student was calling me, and they're like, Miss Kimberly, and I said, yeah. And then I turned my head too quickly. And then I had to, oh no, I have a crick in my neck. Oh, and it hurt for the rest of the day. Or one time, I was so tired, for some reason, I didn't sleep on my pillow. I slept below it. So then not having the cushion and neck support while I was sleeping from the pillow, I had a crick in my neck the next day. Everyone say, crick in my neck. I hope you don't have a crick in your neck because it's quite painful and you gotta stretch out the muscles. Very good. Let's move on to page 12, the next page. And here, the two boys, Pete and Toby, are talking about where they're trying to put Bunnicula, the bunny. So before, Mr. Monroe spoke up. I think the best place for the rabbit is right here in the living room on that table by the window. It's light there and he'll get lots of fresh air. So Mr. Monroe was like, let's put the bunny by the window. And then Toby here says, Pete's taller than I am, Toby cried. He'll be able to see the rabbit better. And then the dad says, too bad, Squirt. What does too bad, Squirt mean? We know too bad. It's like, it's okay, whatever. You're a loss. Too bad. Squirt? I know the word squirt like when I'm squirting water out of a water gun. But does this mean too bad squirt, like too bad squirt water? No, because squirt in this picture, to shoot out water, or to shoot out a liquid in a narrow stream, like a water gun, is a verb. But here, the word too bad squirt is not a verb. It is a noun, and it is a slang. It means a youngster, or someone that is short, or someone that's both. Someone who is small and young and short. So he's saying, too bad, Squirt, because Toby wasn't tall enough to see the window up there, and he wouldn't be able to see the rabbit. So that's like, too bad, Squirt. Maybe you will also trying to see the fireworks maybe one day over at the Gwangan Bridge. Okay? There's all these people crowded over on the streets. You're like, oh, I can't see. And then someone passes by and says, too bad, Squirt. And they keep going. That's so mean. Too bad, Squirt, too bad. Can't do anything about it because you're too short. Here, I have a picture also of a girl who is taller and the girl a bit shorter. She's like, oh, sad. Too bad, Squirt. But I wouldn't recommend saying this to someone that is short because that would make them feel bad, right? So we all have to be nicer. Let's go to page 13. Oh my, they're all right next to each other. The next page. In the middle here, they're trying to think of a name for Bunnicula. And then before it says they were trying to call Harold Fluffy that Mrs. Monroe had suggested. Okay? But thank goodness they didn't. Because Harold didn't want the name Fluffy because it sounded very too cute. It says, well, all right, sighed Mrs. Monroe. What about, say, Bun Bun? That's a cute name, right? Bun Bun? And then Harold is saying here, oh, there she goes again, I thought. Where does she get them? Yak! We all said. There she goes again. Is Mrs. Monroe, like, walking and going somewhere? No. There she goes again. Might sound a bit tricky, but I'm here to help you understand it, right? Imagine you have a friend who always does the same funny or silly thing. And whenever you see your friend doing that thing, you might say, there they go again. It's like noticing something familiar that your friend does a lot. So when someone says, there she goes again, they're talking about someone they know who's doing something that they usually do. So here, Harold is kind of making fun of Mrs. Monroe and saying, there she goes again, making weird, silly names. Because his name was almost Fluffy, and now she was like, we should call the bunny Bun Bun. There she goes again. So when can we use this in real life? What if someone is singing in class, la da 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 da, and the teacher says, okay, Kimberly, please stop, it's time for class. And then 3 minutes later, she starts singing again, da 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 da, and then you can say in your head, there she goes again, singing again in class and being silly. There she goes again, or there he goes again. It's not saying I'm going somewhere, okay? So say that I'm going to the market and I go to the market again. You don't say, oh, there she goes again to the market. That doesn't really fit there. This here means that they're doing something, again, that they usually do that is a bit funny or silly. And here, yuck. Yuck. That means they don't like it. Ew. It's another word for ew. Yuck. Okay, everyone say it. There she goes again. Good. Let's go to page 14, the next page. There's so many that we can talk about here. They're talking about Bunnicula, the rabbit. At the very top it says, so this is a rabbit, I thought. He sort of looks like Chester, only he's got longer ears and a shorter tail and a motor in his nose. What's a motor? A motor is something that's in your car and it goes for us to start the car. A lot of people have advanced cars now, so when you turn on the car, it's quite a bit quiet. But long time ago, when we turned the key for our car, we go. That's the sound of a motor. It's going. So if a rabbit here has a motor in his nose, does that really mean like a big car engine in his nose? No. A motor in his nose here means that it's moving. If you think about a bunny, their noses are always moving like this because they're smelling and doing other things. A motor in his nose. So we wouldn't say that a person has a motor in their nose, but a dog can also have a motor in their nose if they're searching for something. So you can say, oh, my dog was looking for its bone and the motor in his nose was working all crazily. A motor in his nose. And this also shows us that Bunnicula is a boy. Side thoughts. Page 18. Let's go to page... Oh, my book's upside down. Page 18. Second paragraph. It says, we're talking about how Chester came to the house, or how he became a member of the family. It says, Chester came into the house several years ago as a birthday gift for Mr. Monroe, along with 2 volumes of G.K. Chesterton, hence the name Chester. Volume of G.K. Chesterton. Volume? Like raising the volume of the TV? Or raising the volume of a car radio? No. Volume here means a collection of written or printed sheets bound together, meaning a book. So, a collection of books. So, let's think about Harry Potter. There are, I'm going to get in trouble for not knowing this. I think there are 7 volumes in the series. Is there more? Is there less? Help me. Anyways, there's many Harry Potter books, right? There's 1 volume, the 2nd volume, the 3rd volume. There's many series in one collection. And here it says 2 volumes, so 2 books of G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton here is the name of a author. So this person has poetry, and this is volume 2 of this book. So here they're saying that Chester came into the house with these 2 books by G.K. Chesterton, so the family decided to call him Chester. Okay, so G.K. Chesterton is just the author. Who is the author of Bunnicula? Hurry, look! Did you find it? Yes. There are 2 authors, actually, and it's at the very top. Awesome. Let's move on to page 20. And this quote here is in the middle, here in the highlighted. So this is now Chester talking to Harold. I don't know what came over me, he said to me the next morning, but a cold chill ran down my spine. A cold chill ran down my spine. Where is your spine? Here? Here? No. The spine is your back. Okay, I cannot show you because I'm sitting. But the spine is your backbone. Okay, and a cold chill ran down my spine. Meaning he felt a cold chill. To have chills go down someone's spine is to feel very like worried or scared or like they're a bit like spooked out. It can be when someone hears something or they see something or they just feel like something spooky is happening or scary or worrying. A cold chill ran down my spine. You can say, when I heard the haunting music in the movie, a cold chill ran down my spine because I didn't know what was going to happen next. Did you see how I used a vocabulary word there? Which one was it? Yes, it was haunting. Yes, a cold chill ran down my spine. I felt a bit worried and scared. I got like tingles. Okay. Next one. Let's go to page 22. Okay, so here it takes a little while. On page 20, the last sentence, it says, through the silence had drifted the strains of, page 22, a remote and exotic music. And here Chester's saying, I could have sworn it was a gypsy violin, Chester told me. I thought perhaps a caravan was passing by, so I ran to the window. Gypsy violin? Is there an actual gypsy violin? No, there's not really an instrument called a gypsy violin. There's just a regular violin. Okay? But here, this whole page will tell you what is a gypsy, what is a caravan, and why this is a gypsy violin. But if you couldn't understand, I'm here to help. Okay? The characters in this story think that the music that they're hearing is coming from a gypsy violin. Okay? It's like a regular violin, but it is played by gypsies. Here in this picture, these men are gypsies. They have like these little scarves around their heads. They're playing the violin. Here it says, gypsies travel all through the land, setting up camps around great bonfires, doing magical tricks. And sometimes, if you cross their palms with a piece of silver, they'll tell you a fortune. So here they're like, oh, if you give them silver, then they'll tell you your fortune. So in this picture, this person is trying to tell their fortune. Okay? But they're just saying, Chester overall is just saying that he heard some kind of music that was kind of, a little bit eerie, a bit strange. So he thought a caravan, which is a van that gypsies take and live in and ride in to travel all around the area. Okay, so he thought that this caravan was passing by because he heard this gypsy type of violin music. So he ran to the window to see, but there is nothing there. So this whole page, if you did not understand, is just saying that Chester heard some noise, went to the window to see if it was, there was nothing there, and that was it. Instead, he just saw the professor who lived next door playing the violin in his living room. So it wasn't some kind of weird gypsy person going across his house. Okay. So here today we reviewed, I believe, 7 different quotes. This video is quite short than the other ones, but I hope it helps you understand the book a little bit more. Okay. So make sure that you can use some of these little phrases inside your regular writing and speaking. Like say that if your neck hurts, you can be like, oh, Mom, I have a crick in my neck. Okay? Or you can say, oh, that scary movie made a chill run down my spine. Okay? Or if yes, there's anything else for it. Okay? So make sure that you reread the whole novel again. Editor's Note 2, Chapter 2. And if you haven't, again, please watch the vocabulary video, read the words out loud, and reread the novel where these phrases came from so that you can double check and understand the story. Okay? I hope you had a very good, fun time. I will see you guys next week for chapter 7 and for the next few chapters. Bye-bye.